Oh, taste and see that the Lord is good. Oh, taste and see that the Lord is good to me. Oh, the overwhelming, never-ending, reckless love of God. Oh, it chases me down, fights till I'm found, leaves the 99. I couldn't earn it, I don't deserve it, still you give yourself away. Oh, the overwhelming, never-ending, reckless love of God. You call me out, blah. You call me out upon the waters, the great unknown, where feet may fail. And there I find you in the mystery. In oceans deep, my faith will stand. So what do all three of those have in common? They were three very distinct songs. Oh, taste and see, the reckless love. Both of those are by Bethel. You call me out upon the waters, where feet may fail. That is a Hillsong song. So why did I even start with songs that I have sung through the years? And let me be very frank, these are years. Two of those songs that a certain I was in a cult girl should know, and she should be singing rather than just posting a list that she said she listened to from Bethel Redding. So why am I saying this and singing this morning? Because I'm making a very distinct video with a very distinct stand. This morning I got up yet again to people telling me to shut up about Without a Box of Kleenex, saying she never mentioned you, telling me to shut up about anything to do with her, with 7M, with anything. I read the statement out for 7M last night because it was interesting, I thought. What it means, I don't know, but I thought it was interesting. I go to church. I'm a believer. Well, I go to church when COVID rates are not high. Right now, I'm on my own. And as you can hear, my once beautiful singing voice is slightly wrecked, but that doesn't stop anything for me. I still believe in God. I still listen to worship music. So the people that are contacting me and constantly putting emails and comments and all sorts of things, reaching out to me on Twitter to tell me how badly I suck for talking about Without a Box of Kleenex, you're not going to be real happy with this. I'm explaining to you guys why I'm still talking about this stupid woman. I would love nothing more to never have to talk about her again. But as long as she is plagiarizing, soft plagiarize, hard plagiarizing my material from No Longer Quivering, we're going to have to talk about her. That is my problem with her. And quite frankly, I could actually almost cry here this morning because when I discovered via Recaps with Bobby the Robot Cat, that Without a Box of Kleenex had plagiarized my entire leaving my church story. And one of the 4 times she's talked about leaving her old church, 4 different stories that have nothing in common with each other. I was hurt beyond belief. Hurt more than I could have ever been with other creators throwing the C word at me or anything else. I actually cried over it. I shed a lot of tears, and I could do so again because every time I think about it, it's a combination of infuriated and heartbroken. I lived that life. I recently made a video and posted it on YouTube where I told my entire history with her. How I joined my church, how I left my church, what went down, what was said, and what she's plagiarized. So I'm saying this morning, as long as she is doing hard plagiarizing, soft plagiarizing, there will be discussion of Without a Box of Kleenex. And for those that say she never talks about me, she talked about me a great deal when she first started her channel. She called me one of her BFFs. I didn't consider her a BFF, but I consider her someone I was in contact with that was okay through Patheos. I wrote for Patheos for nearly 10 years. 2 years before, I wrote on my own for No Longer Quivering. So that gives me 11 years of writing about the quiverful movement, leaving church, joining church, the whole 9 yards. So she has been plagiarizing for years for me, and I didn't even realize it. I realized it almost 2 years ago when she stood me up, and Steve McCrae reached out to me, and others reached out to me and showed me where she'd been plagiarizing me. Um, and that was really hard to take. That was the thing I held against her. As long as she's plagiarizing me, I am going to be talking about her here. I will be going to my attorney here on Monday. We're going to look into see what international plagiarism laws say and what I need to do to actually file to make her shut up, because she is using content. A lot of her original Duggar content she lifted directly from me. When she started saying that certain Duggar boys were gay, she picked that up from me because people were talking about it and it come up with who they thought the gay ones were. I shared with her a number of rumors and said, none of this can be substantiated, but this is what people are saying in the quiverful movement about the Duggars. She took all of that. There's nothing very original about her right now. And right now she's on the ancient and venerated Hillsong. Hillsong has problems. I'm going to be the first one to admit that. I've written about Hillsong before for No Longer Quivering. I've sung Hillsong songs for years. Many evangelical churches who are not cults use Hillsong songs. The last song I sang, You Will Call Me Out Upon the Waters. You Call Me Out Upon the Waters. The name of the song is Where Feet May Fail. That is a huge one for Hillsong. And if somebody was really going to a CULT church with rock and roll church, which I've never heard that phrase used, by the way, in about many, many years, an evangelical, charismatic, fundamentalist, contemporary worship teams that I've been part of, that I've sang on. There are videos of me out there with various teams, but I'm not linking any of them because I don't want anyone stalking any of the old people that I went to church with. She should know that song. That is an old song. I love that song. That song is one of my favorites still to this day, even though I think that Hillsong is a CULT because of some of the behaviors, the things that have gone on. Carl Lentz, Justin Bieber, the founder, Brian Houston, some of the things that have gone down, things that are said. And that's a shame because I love them. I've loved Newsboys and Peter Furler, which came directly out of Hillsong. I still listen to some of this stuff. I still sing it all. But going back to Where Feet May Fail, there is a sentence in that song that when I sing it, I tear up every time. And then my voice really gets choked up. You think you've heard my bad singing because I'm not used to singing anymore and I'm not in practice? And I'm not, oh God, they just lit a fire outside. The song has a line, Spirit lead me, or my feet cannot wander, out upon the waters in the presence of my Savior. Every time I think about that, I get choked up. Where your feet will never wander. Those are the scary places for us, the scary places in faith that require lots and lots of trust, I don't always have it. And when I think about that line and I think about having to go places that my feet would never wander, it just chokes me up. And the same thing with some of the Bethel music. Singing Reckless Love again. And I sang Reckless Love at my last church. We sang it every week for months on end. Now, that one is a newer one that she probably wouldn't know. But the first one, Oh Taste and See, that is one of Bethel's bedrocks that if she was involved in that, she should have known. So here's why I continually talk about her. Not only does she plagiarize from me left and right, she defames people. She defames faith. She makes she makes a mockery of faith. The other day, she said that all churches were the C word, C-U-L-T. A lot of churches may be high demand religious organizations, and some of them may even be the CULT, but it's not everything. So she is deliberately shitting on everything that we hold dear. She's making all kinds of crazy claims about it. I've talked before, I've had my own head knockings with Bethel. I've talked about how Bethel has a body count to their theology. It is their theology I have a problem with, not their musical end. Except for that silly Sean Fouch that was running around last year. Foch, I don't know how you say his name any longer. He was running around giving these huge worship concerts in the middle of a government shutdown for a pandemic. And those concerts were actually kind of super spreader events in their own ways. So I'm not tense with Bethel over that, over their theology that says either you get a healing or it's a demon. A number of things. I've explained how Bethel damn near killed my husband with telling him that his depression was demonic instead of what it actually was. A large tumor on his parathyroid glands was driving it all. If he had not gone and gotten a physical, he would be dead right now. People die from parathyroid tumors. I would be dead if I did not buck my church and go get that hysterectomy because my red blood cell count had fallen so low it was getting critical and crucial that I have that surgery. Best thing I ever did. And for me, that was the beginning of the unraveling of my quiverful faith, was having to have a hysterectomy and being surrounded by people who were telling me that I was not trusting God by having this surgery, that I should follow the Bethel way and pray for God to heal me. Give me a new, miraculous, restored uterus. God can heal anyone he darn well chooses. I'm just going to throw that out there. I have seen some miraculous healings in my life, and I do believe that it's possible. I just don't believe you can count on it each and every time. There's so much of faith that is a mystery. And that's, I think, one of the reasons why I love the song Where Feet May Fail, because it talks about it being a mystery. And it is a kind of mysterious sort of song that has different, like a almost otherworldly kind of music that it does. I love that. I think it is just absolutely the best. So don't let the Katie Joys of this world shoo you off faith. And for those of you that think you can dictate to me what I do, who I cover, what topics I cover, you are about to be very sadly disappointed because I will cover whatever I deem important in my world. I was going to do a Costa Rica one yesterday, and I still need to do a Costa Rican one for this week, about the border run and how that's changed, because that's critical information that needs to get out there. It changes every 3 or 4 months, it seems. But this morning, I'm going to leave you with this. This is the best. This is one of the things about Costa Rica that is the best. Do you know what this is? Freshly squeezed orange juice. Guess how much this cost me for freshly squeezed orange juice? This was a mill, $1.60 for a juice that they made for me, and it is fabulous. This is one of my favorite things to get when I'm not feeling great, like I'm not feeling great now. I'm still struggling with my health, having been in the hospital about a month ago. I'm still not well. So that also plays into all of this and about me answering all these people that are telling me they don't like my topics. I'm not everybody's cup of tea, and I'm perfectly fine with that. If that's the case, just go on down the road, or if you see I'm about to talk about something you don't like, click off. I have no problem with that. Now, while I would love you to do all the YouTubey things to like and to subscribe and all that, I fully understand I am definitely not everybody's taste. Just like everybody is not my taste. Um, like there's a certain McSwine that I would never watch. And I'm fine with that. I'm fine with not watching certain people. I'm fine with watching the people I like. One day soon, I'll have to explain who that is. I have a ton of history channels I watch, and there's a ton of other things. And then the smoke is getting really intense. I'm going to have to get off here and do a nebulizer treatment. My voice is not great today. Um, so yeah. So I'm going to continue to say these things. If it bugs you, go away. Just take yourself away. I won't be heartbroken either way. I welcome anybody's kindly worded comments, constructive criticism or not. But the minute that you show up and you start demanding, I do this or don't do that or whatever, I'm just going to move you to Jerks for Jesus. Man, I had a bumper crop this morning I could have moved, but I chose just to delete them and not answer any of them because they were pretty ridiculous for the most part. I worked with KJ for over a year. She's plagiarized a ton of my material. And that is the genesis of my criticism. I will continue to criticize her for those things. So if you don't like it, move along, please. Move along. Just roll on down. Just like you're not going to like every single church in the world and just move on down the road without throwing rocks. At least I have. And that's not to say I don't change my mind about people and things, because I do. What is today? Saturday? Okay, Thursday night, my husband and I ran into a friend at the border. It was really a friend of my husband's. It was a guy I had totally written off as ever being a friend, because I'd seen a couple emails he'd written where he'd been pretty ridiculous and had been over the top with evangelical Christian buzzwords and was really trying to guilt trip my husband pretty hard. Thursday night, I sat down and had dinner with him, and I realized there's a lot more depths there. There's a lot more depth. There's a lot more going on, and this guy's actually okay. So I was forced to change my mind from thinking this guy was Christian evil incarnate to seeing who and exactly what he is and seeing that he's a little bit on the immature side. We all have those places where we could use improvement. I know there are a ton of places I could use improvement. I'm not even going to lie about that. We had guests this last week, and I spent quite a lot of mental energy complaining about the number of towels used and other things. Now, granted, I had to do 4 baskets of towels, 4 complete loads of towels after they left, and usually we only do maybe about a half to a quarter to a 2/3 to a full basket once a week. I just could not get them to understand that in a country and a area during dry season where there is almost no water, that we don't use a fresh towel every time we get out of the pool. We hang our pool towels out, we let them dry, we reuse them, that sort of thing, because of the fact that the water is scarce now. They cut off everyone's water, most everyone's water in Guanacaste from like 9 in the morning till 4. I have a 60-gallon water tank outside, so that doesn't affect us quite as badly when it's just my husband and I. But when we have guests who don't understand, even though I've said, look, listen, let's not do this, do that. You need to know this, you need to know that. So looking back upon it, even though I was grumbly and mean and inside, I learned something. I learned something big. I learned that I have to actually vet anybody that comes over here. I have to tell them well in advance what the expectations are so that they know, so that I know. Because this was kind of strange. This one was strange. And it finally dawned on me. It was because they were expecting to come here and have the luxury resort experience. And we're a lot of things here, but we are not the luxury resort experience. I'm gonna side eye you every towel you use that you could have dried yours and used it again. Where you're not paying attention to the fact that we don't have water most of the day, where you're draining my 60-gallon tank. Oh, so there was some of that. So I think from now on, I need to work on policing people's expectations before they come. Tell them, hey, this is the way it is. Make sure they understand. So that's what I'm doing here. I'm policing your expectations of what you can expect. You can expect me to talk about whatever in the hell I want. Orange juice, crochet, shopping, religion, calling out a stone cold hard plagiarist. It's pretty much broken my heart a number of times with some of the stuff that she's stolen. I invite all of you that think that I'm obsessed with her and that she's never spoken about me, and she has. She's spoken about me negatively. She used to call me her BFF, and all. She's spoken about me quite a bit in the past. I invite you to go look at Bobby the Cat's video where he compared parts of her story, my story, side by side, and determined that she was plagiarizing. Y'all have a great day. I'm going to go lay down. I need to do laundry, but it's another day where they've cut our water off. So come on, rains. Come on, rains, and completely refill the aquifer. Jesus, if you can send rain, that would be really, really nice about now. We're coming up on that. We've had a few cloudy days. We've had a few near misses, but we really need it now. Rain, such an essential thing. Okay, you guys. Most of you I love. The rest of you that think that you can just show up and dictate what I want, go away, please.